I grew up with my mom, and I didn't realize at the time that she treated me in a way that parents don't typically treat their kids. I just kind of thought it was normal. I grew up thinking that I didn't have any friends, that no one loved me, and those were just things she would tell me on a daily basis. When I was about 10 or 11 years old, my mom kind of lashed out at me and isolated me more, and that's where all the conflict I think really started. She'd put me in hospitals and I would run away, and then I'd be put in more hospitals, I'd get out and run away again, and I was unsafe, I was hurting myself. And finally I tried to kill myself on December 9th, 2012. And eventually Child Protective Services had to remove custody from my mom and take custody over me. And they felt that it'd be best to put me in a safe place like a hospital. I was there through Christmas, so I saw girls coming and going and visiting with their families on that day and Christmas Eve, but I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. I felt very alone. I felt very isolated. And then I want to say it was right before New Year's that I got accepted into an upbringing facility. It was really scary when I first got to the upbringing facility because I had been so used to being alone that that's just what I was used to at that point. And I felt a lot of warmth trying to be given to me, but it was so hard to accept it. They gave me a lot of love and they gave me a lot of space because I think they could tell that I needed that to really get used to the transition. I had a really hard time seeing who I was and seeing a future for myself. I don't even want to say a future for myself. Some of the girls I could see, they had trouble seeing themselves going to college or, finding a family, and I just couldn't see myself getting through the day. I couldn't see tomorrow. I started feeling hope for myself when I really got recognition for the progress that I was making. So just small little rewards kind of gave me hope and made me feel like I'm different than I was and I can do something and I have accomplished this and I'm succeeding. After some time and consistencies and a lot of support from the staff, I finally warmed up and stopped focusing so much on what was going wrong in my life and what could be going right, and just really surrounding myself with a lot of other good influences that were on the campus. So I worked on my treatment, I worked on bettering myself, and eventually was released, where I finished off middle school and went ahead onto high school. The whole time that I was in CPS custody, I wrote in journals. That was always my go-to because I felt so alone. I didn't really have anyone to talk to, but I always had my journals and write however I was feeling and what was going on around me, or I would write poems, or I would even just write song lyrics that I remembered just to be writing. When I was signing up for courses my senior year, I saw a yearbook because we still got to write, but we also got to be really involved with the student body. So I thought, this can't be so bad. And I joined yearbook, and that's when I discovered that I really loved taking pictures too. That was when I really started finding who I was and tuning into, I guess, my creative side. I love working with Upbring as much as I can. I've had the privilege of talking to a group of girls at the facility that I actually stayed at and getting to hear their stories, hear their goals, and then also tell them about myself and what I've been through and show them that it does get better. I really see myself doing work with kids who are in CPS. I'm not exactly sure where I'll go. I do have faith though that at some point one of these doors that opens will be in that field and I will be able to make a difference, and that'll be what I'm meant to do. I don't take anything for granted that I'm given at this point. Not my education, not my home, not my job. I just look forward to tomorrow. And now I feel like I can do anything. And I know that is such a cliche, but it's so true. There are so many things that I've done up to this point in my life that I never even fathomed possible for myself. And now I think, if I just dream it and put in the work for it, I can do it.